Hello, welcome back, Dollies. Today I have a guest host. It's gonna be an interview. This is Shauna.
Hey guys.
She is a female firefighter, so we thought it'd be good to have her on the podcast and ask her some questions. So, my first thing is, do you have a favorite position? Because if I'm correct, you worked three different positions. You've been a firefighter, an engineer, and a medic.
Just firefighter and medic now. Yeah.
Okay. And do
Um,
you prefer being a medic over a firefighter?
so we're technically both. So it's dual function. So it's just like an extra cert. So some
Oh,
firefighters, they'll get like hazmat certifications, they'll get U-Star certifications. So they're still firefighters with like a U-Star certification or a hazmat. So I'm just a firefighter with a paramedic certification. So now, yeah, like you said, I get to rotate onto an ambulance now.
got
Um,
it.
So yeah, I like doing it all. It just makes you more versatile. So
And can you enter as like if somebody was already like a paramedic, can they apply for being a firefighter and like enter as a paramedic?
yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Actually, if you have a paramedic license and you apply for
Yeah,
like
and
the fire
you
department,
what was that? You want to
you are like that is like a golden star. Like that is
Got
almost like
it.
most guys would actually go to paramedic school, not because they wanted to be paramedics, but because they knew if I got this, I would get hired on faster. Because it used to be really, really competitive, really hard to get on the fire department. But
And this is
now,
California, just for, I mean, I don't know Indiana. I don't know any firefighters in Indiana.
yeah, yeah.
So it
Well,
could be
yeah.
different, but I'm not sure. And is there an entrance age and an age that like, okay, if you're 35, they're not going to hire you?
yeah.
No, we've actually had a guy that was 42 was the oldest I've heard of a guy going through the academy.
Wow.
So it does happen. I don't know how the retirement thing works, but if you
Wow.
have time that you can transfer over, but oh, hi,
He had to bring Greta for you to see.
puppy. Hi, baby. Oh
Had to
my God, I
take
love
recently because
dogs.
she needs to be groomed. I was gonna say you've seen Greta or no?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've
yeah,
seen, I think
and
I,
we
yeah.
pulled the tick out,
Yeah,
and
you
then and
pulled her
then
ticket.
and then Poppy puts it in water. I mean alcohol, and then it
Yeah.
died.
Yeah, you gotta get rid of it so it doesn't eat Greta, huh?
And it blended in so perfect. I'm like, okay, well, you really need to get groomed because I could not I had to like bald spotter and even still I could not see it. I was like, it looked like a skin tag. It was perfect brown.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm lucky with Kona because
and
Kona's
then
so easy. I could just be petting her and feel it because she's short
smell.
haired. So
Yeah, that's true. Does it just come off if you're like petting her and like flick it off?
no, dude, ew. One time I'm sitting there and I'm like petting her and I'm like petting her behind the ear and I'm kind of like playing with this thing and I'm like not even
I thought
thinking
it was
about
a
it. And
skin
then I'm like,
tag.
actually, what is this? And I go and look and I'm sitting there playing with the tick and I'm just like, ew. Yeah. And then yeah, we ended up plucking it out. I know you're not supposed to, but we tried doing
As
like
long as you get the
eucalyptus.
head, Paul does it with those like really thin tweezers and he always gets it. But I'm like,
Yeah, yeah. Haven't had any issues. I've always, yeah, same thing. I know that's the worry, like leaving the head in, but I tried doing like the eucalyptus oil you're supposed to put on it to like, oh, they don't like the smell and they'll back out, but this sucker could not care less. He
and then
was
like I'm scared to like light a match and burn it. Then it's like, oh, then I burn my dog. Like,
I know, I've heard that too. And I'm like, no. And then it's gonna smell like burnt hair. Like,
ew.
no. Yeah, the tweezers have always worked for me. So I think as long as you're careful. But
And for somebody
yeah.
that's looking to enter the force, like from any age, would you recommend they go to college or get a certificate before they go in?
Honestly, we've had a big variety of like people that don't have degrees, people that have military backgrounds, people that come from construction backgrounds. So, I honestly don't think having a degree is really required. I think it depends on what you want to do eventually. Like if you want to eventually be like higher up, if you want to be a chief or something, then I think having a degree
Oh,
helps, or some departments require it. Not all departments, but it kind of just depends on what you want to do. And like, are you more of a good, like, policies, you're good at reading policies and understanding them, then yeah, maybe having a degree and doing something higher up. But if you like doing the physical work, hanging out with the guys, that kind of stuff, then I would say no, you don't. It helps to have a firefighter one and your EMT. I think most departments you have to have an EMT, which you can take in like a 3-month course.
And
But
plus, if you're on the force, maybe you'll find something that you might really be interested in hazmat. And they pay for the
exactly.
certifications once you're on the force.
Most jobs do, yeah. Like I think my department paid for me to go to medic school. They paid for my hazmat.
Yeah.
They paid for the USAR classes. So yeah, so,
Wow.
and not all departments do that. Like I had to get my own time off, so I had to take days off of work and
Oh, wow.
secure that off. But they actually paid for the class itself, so it was a win-win.
Wow. I didn't think about the time off, but yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
And during wildfire season, so here we don't, that's what I think is interesting about firefighters. Here is like, we don't really have like a wildfire season. We don't have like, I feel like their main job is not like fires, maybe structure fires, maybe. But
Yeah. It's not
um,
like California.
yeah, it's not like California. People do not understand. Like, um,
I love being on elevators.
I know you love being on elevators.
What do elevators do?
They go up.
Mama, why do they go up and down?
That's what they're made for, to help people get up and down.
Willy Wonka's go side to side, homie.
Up and down.
We've
And
never
side to
watched that.
side.
I feel like it would be scary.
I know,
I
diagonal.
tip over the laptop. Okay, you get down. You're pushing on my belly. Goodbye. And you get down. Go find out what Poppy's doing.
Bye,
Um,
Arkham.
yeah, right. He's never leaving.
I know.
Nope. Okay, sit up because you're smashing the baby. Your leg's stuck, I know, but oh my God. Okay. So what is actually helpful during wildfire season? Like I know this last wildfire season, they're like, some of these stations need more items. Bring like what is helpful and what is not helpful. I know people like trying to like show up and fight the fires must definitely not be helpful.
Yeah, when people just, yeah, especially like structure fires and stuff, people get their garden hoses out and try and put what it's like that garden hose, you could be pouring it and it would never, it would never put it out. Just what they say is it's GPM versus BTUs. So pretty much it's just like the amount of water versus how hot it is. Like if it's too hot, this amount of water will never, I mean, obviously every fire obviously goes out, but
Right.
yeah, that garden hose is not going to do it. So yeah, just getting out of the way. And we got a lot of love with this Palisades fire. I think every fire station I worked at, people were coming to the station almost every day donating stuff, and obviously we appreciate all that stuff. And I feel like for us, we get so much love, and I feel like it's the Forest Service and like Cal Fire. The Forest Service are the guys that are like the front lines. I feel bad because I feel like they don't get as much love as we do, and they're
And
the
they
ones
don't have
putting
like a
in.
station, right? Like they don't have a set place to be.
They do, but obviously when like they come to our city, yeah, they're just staying in hotels and stuff. Um, but it's funny because I remember we do a lot of structure defense, so we'll be in neighborhoods while they're actually in the forest.
Wow.
So we'll be in the neighborhoods and we'll have like families come up, drop pizza off, drop Starbucks off, like they take care of us. But yeah, the guys up in the forest, like they get no love. So
Oh,
I've always like noticed that, and they're just kind of the cowboys. And but again, that's kind of a lot of guys that are even on our department, they start with the Forest Service and then kind of
right.
work their way up. So
And the Forest
um,
Service is a year-round job or no?
so they have I think, well, I know with Cal Fire they have like seasonal and they have permanent. So like Olivia, she's seasonal. So she like on the off season, she has that time off.
I don't know.
And then they do have permanent positions also. So they could be working like around. So sometimes they'll do actual medical stuff too, wherever their station's at.
Got
If
it.
they're not on a fire.
And
So
with that, like the meals are helpful, the Starbucks is helpful, the protein bars, Gatorades, all of that is helpful. Is there something that you guys prefer like during a fire season? Is it, to me, it seems like a protein bar would be easier to eat than like a spaghetti and
yeah.
meatballs.
So normally we like I think the food and stuff is we get taken care of with food and like electrolytes, and we get taken care of with like all that stuff. Um, like I remember joking one time, I was like, I'm gonna be on this. I think I was on like a 14-day deployment, and
Wow.
I was like, okay, good. Like I'll burn a few calories, and it was like the opposite with how much food was available for us. I was just like, oh, I'm gaining weight on this because we had so much food available like all the time.
Wow.
Yeah, but I know like some departments have like our union has like a website that you can go to donate. So you can actually donate to like the fire stations, or just donate to the department itself, and they can kind of figure out what they need, what the department's needs and stuff. Like for us, we need like I feel like we need more ambulances, we need more resources, which obviously those things are really, really expensive. But any love, we love the fact that we just get support because
Yeah.
like LAPD, like they don't get the same love as we do sometimes. So
Yeah.
we just appreciate that we're like we
The
are loved.
community's behind you.
Exactly. Like that's like the most important thing.
Now,
But
as far as your station and food, so do you guys cook like breakfast? Like I know usually there's one cook for, or how does that work? Like the cook, and is it breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
so like usually Sundays we'll do like a brunch and dinner, but typically you just do two meals.
Okay.
And we just rotate between everyone in the station, you just rotate. Um, so we
And
all
what if
take
somebody's
turns.
not quite a good?
So then they make you cook more. If you're
Okay.
horrible, they'll make you cook more until you figure it out. That's why everyone says like have just all you have to do is have like 2 to 4 recipes and practice them at home, and then you're solid, you're good. So
And do you
it's
guys use like crock pots, instant pots,
oh
air
dude,
fryers?
I do. It is so easy, especially being a medic now and we're a lot busier. Oh, crock pot meals are the easiest. Then I don't have to worry about like the guys having to try and cook my meal. I love doing crock pots and I love doing the sous vide.
Oh,
Um, it's like the guys made fun of me the first time I did it because they're like, "Oh, you're making us boiled meat." I'm like, "Just wait, just wait." And it's pretty much like this. It pretty much is like boiled meat, but like the tri-tip I made for them, it never goes over a specific temperature. And I've heard them say like it is the most tender tri-tip they've ever had because it will never. It doesn't matter how long you leave it in there, it will never overcook
overcooked.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it leaves it at that temperature, and then you can sear it, give it some color so it doesn't look like boiled meat. It doesn't look raw and gross.
And do
Um,
you have all those items are at the fire station, or do you have to bring it? And what about the groceries? Do you have to buy for everyone, or if you're cooking?
so the sous vide, no, I didn't think a lot of the guys have never heard of that, so I brought my own. But like crock pots, like when I was at 21, we had everything. Like there was things there at that kitchen that I was like, oh, I need this in my kitchen.
Wow.
Um, most fire departments have like have
Basic
everything,
cooking.
and then if you don't, sometimes like I'm like, okay, whatever, it's $100, I'll buy it because I know I'm gonna use it, and then it's just there at the station. But and then as far as shopping, sometimes you can they call it pre-shop, so I would shop like on my own time, which I kind of like doing because I hate being interrupted when I'm shopping. If we get a call, I just hate that. So, but if you don't, then yeah, you go on duty and you keep your
I
radio with
will
you.
say we love seeing the firefighters when we were like living in our RV in like Goleta. The firefighters would always come to like this Albertsons, and it was probably a small station because it was only like three firefighters. But
Yeah,
it was just like so fun. They were always like fun in the store. But yeah, that would suck. Like, oh, I'm almost done shopping. Gotta go.
I know, and then have to come back. I mean, usually the store's pretty good. They'll put it in like the big walk-in
Freezer for
freezer
you.
thing. But yeah, it's just a pain in the butt. And then yeah, trying to cook,
Well,
getting
and you guys are a
interrupted.
very busy station.
Yeah, yeah. You're like turning the oven on, turn it off. That's why the crock pots or the sous vides are perfect because you don't have to worry about it. Like prep it in the
Set a
morning.
timer.
Exactly. So you can't go wrong with those.
So what is like with your current staff, who's like who has like the best meal? Like who's your like, oh yes, so and so's cooking tonight and it's gonna be this
Oh,
meal.
it used to be again when I was at 21's Captain Linton. He would throw down in the kitchen. Actually, like that station had Captain Linton, Captain Smith. We had some really, really, really good cooks there.
Ooh.
Like, because I don't know, as the girl, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna cook. I'll cook a really good meal. But these dudes throw down. Some guys can throw down, and Captain Linton. I don't know if this matters, but he's like Mormon, and I don't think I've ever had a bad meal from a Mormon. Like his
Wow.
wife used to make us like all these treats and candies and bread and like these
We need like
desserts. It
a
was like a
Mormon
pumpkin
cookbook.
roll. It was what?
Like maybe we need like a Mormon cookbook. Wow. I never thought about
So
that.
that's what they, I guess in their church, that's what they like all the women get together and they make like cookbooks of all their favorite recipes. And I'm like,
Yum.
I need to get on that. Yeah. But I don't think I've ever had a bad meal because I don't remember one of my exes, Josh was his family was Mormon. And dude, his mom, same thing.
Really?
Yes. Oh my God. So again, I think it's just in their blood.
I like don't know anybody, so I need to meet somebody apparently.
But
What
I
has
would
been
say definitely those two.
what
But
has been most like unexpected? Like whether in academy or now that you've been a firefighter for
six
five, six
years.
years? Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, most unexpected. I guess just the types of calls we go on. Like you have to be an expert. Like there's like electrical wires down, and I'm like, I don't know anything about electrical or
And
like
do you guys actually deal with that? Or do you guys call like SoCal Edison, like, hey, we're here, coned off, come.
yeah. So again, like our biggest thing is just public safety. So if there's wires down, like on something, then we'll stay there, block it off. But yeah, we're not really dealing with the electrical side of it. We'll call out Edison, SoCal Edison, and wait for them to show up, mitigate the like safety issue there. But yeah, just and then just there's just so much stuff that I didn't know came along with firefighting. Like it's not just putting out fires and helping people and getting cats out of trees. There's like when a house goes on fire, we have to take out almost everything in the house because we don't want any of that stuff to burn or if there's like documents that can be saved. Like we will usually have like three piles. You have like a save pile, you have like two trash piles, one that's all like wood stuff and then other stuff that's like metals.
Plus, it
Uh,
probably helps put out the fire faster, I'm sure, if like people have gasoline in their garage or
yeah, you're just getting rid of all that stuff. So there's like you don't want to like or just a rekindle. You don't want the fire to start up again because all that stuff's still hot. Even though the fire's out, like it's so hot,
and
it could start back up again.
how do you? I mean, do you guys just the fire suit and like do you have like some gloves or
Yeah, so usually when we're doing that, we call it overhaul. So when we're doing that, we'll just put like our brush coats on, which is a little bit lighter, a lot lighter than our turnout coats. And then just gloves and usually like a mask because some of that stuff's just nasty. And yeah, just I mean that's because the fire will go out in like a house fire. Typically, the fire goes out really fast. It's overhaul that takes hours. And
and what's the main cause of the house fires that you go on?
um, I would say there's a lot like candles,
Mm.
cats, candles. One lady had a candle, went to go drop her son off, came back, house was on fire, and it ended up being a candle that got knocked over. Or we have a lot of floor heaters.
Oh,
When wintertime picks back up, people start to turn their heaters on, and stuff falls in there, or lint catches on fire. Um, Thanksgiving time, people forget that there's stuff in their ovens. They turn the ovens on. They preheat their oven and forget that there's stuff in there or there's a bunch of grease in there. And obviously water doesn't put out grease, so that makes it bigger. I would say those are a lot of them. Homeless, I feel really bad because a lot of people that are like next to a homeless encampment, I don't know, they just get high or drunk and then like their fires just get out of control. And then it catches like the neighboring house on fire or a tree, and then that tree gets the house on fire. So the homeless is a really big issue with a lot of these fires, like our fire call volume.
and again, that's like totally a California thing. I mean, maybe other states too, but definitely not here. Like the parks here are open till like midnight. I'm like, what? And like
Yeah.
there's this one place we went for our homeschool group and like this building is open from like 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. It's heated floors. It's just like an open building. You can go do homeschool, you can go do it. It's at a church. And I remember I told my grandma and she was like, "There's no homeless people there?" And I'm like, "No,
Yeah.
there's not." I mean, you'll see like sometimes transients and we don't live too far from like the jail, so you still people kind of coming in and out, but
But nothing like where it's like,
nothing like California.
yeah, yeah.
So
It's
if you're not in California, you won't understand. Like literally, you'll be driving on the freeway and you're like, oh, that's somebody's whole house tent. Somebody who just puts
yeah.
a mattress slanted on the side of the freeway and sleeps there.
Oh yeah. And it's like little whole communities too. And they'll have like bum wars. It's funny. Like you'll go on like this homeless encampment and they put this guy's stuff in the middle of the road, the street, and they'll just light it on fire. They have like homeless wars, like lighting each other's stuff on fire, and it's wild, wild west out there.
And what do you do if you show up to like a fire that's perhaps homeless or like there's an animal that you're not sure whose it is? Do you guys handle the animal or call animal control or
Yeah, just call animal control. But I mean, sometimes I don't know. We haven't had too much of those. It's crazy how like homeless people's dogs are the most loyal dogs. They're never on a leash. I never see them on a leash and they just stay by their side. I'm like, if I did that with my dog, she'd be like running all over the place.
And then something that I'm curious about is like, I'm sure you go on a lot of accidents. And what's something you think people should keep in their car? Like, you're like, this would have been, they should have had this and they could have gotten out or they could have, I don't know.
Um,
Do you think everybody should have like those window busters and the seatbelt cutters like accessible in the car or?
I guess a seatbelt cutter wouldn't even those like our trauma shears. I think those are probably cheaper than those seatbelt cutters. I think those are really, really rare, but I don't think it helps. Like I still have scissors in my like door, so I don't think it hurts. The biggest thing I would say is stay in your car. Don't be, I see people with their cars on the side of the road and they're standing outside of the car. That's probably the scariest thing, even for us, is being on a freeway or the side of the road. People look at you and no one's paying attention and just getting hit by cars. So stay in your car. Do not get out of your car. If you do get into an accident and you can drive, then drive to the
Out of the way.
side, get off the freeway, get to a safe place. People just freak out when they get into accidents, like they don't know what to do, which I get. It's not something that happens to you all the time, but stay in your car, try and signal to the other person, hey, I'm gonna pull over, get to a safe spot. But like especially on the freeway, when I see people getting out and exchanging information and there's cars flying by them, I'm
70
like,
miles an hour.
yeah, I'm like, dude, stay in your car because we've gone on a couple where guys car accident, it's just a little fender bender. They get out and one of the guys got hit by a car. I'm like, he did not need to
Yeah,
die.
he
He
would
was
have
in
been
his
okay.
car. Yeah, yeah. So,
Well, that's a good tip. That makes sense. And have you
yeah.
delivered any babies?
Yes. I've delivered two in the field and then when I did like my clinicals at labor and delivery, we had three natural and two C-sections. So I even got to
Oh,
see the
wow.
C-section ones. But yeah, the ones in the field were the very first one, it was a breech. So I went
Oh,
to go just check to see like I went to just make sure everything was okay and I just see a little foot. I'm like, oh Lord Jesus, Lord baby Jesus. I was like, Cap, we need an ambulance like pronto. And it ended up being like we as soon as we lifted her onto the gurney, we just saw mom was like grabbing down there and she goes, no, I feel it, I feel it. I'm like, yeah, it's one of the foot is hanging out. We lifted her on the gurney and sure enough, there's
got him
baby.
out.
Yeah. So
Ugh.
but yeah, luckily he was small. I think he ended up being like 4 pounds.
Oh
So
my
he was a
gosh.
little guy. So I think that's why he was able to
You just
come
slipped
out
right out.
breech. Yeah, yeah.
I feel
So
like people don't realize how big a baby is. I mean, even 4 pounds. Arkham was like 7 pounds. And I like they were like, you can feel the head, like you can, and I was like, I'm gonna pull my own baby out. But then when I put my hand down and felt the head and like the hole that it's coming out of, I was like, okay, that kind of freaked me out. Like that was
Oh,
like, this is huge. Like
I bet. Yeah.
what?
Yeah. Oh, I bet, dude. It's it's a gnarly thing.
I've had to show Arkham like my birth video because I'm like trying to prepare him because this time will be a home birth. So like he's
Yeah.
definitely interested in it, but he's like, why were you crying? Like, why are you screaming?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
because it's like so I'm trying to explain to him it's like it's kind of like you have to poop and like you can't stop it from coming out and it's like a big hard poop.
I know, I guess that's the best way I would explain it. I don't
It's
know.
literally what it feels like. It literally like they're like you'll know when you have to push and it literally feels like oh my God, I have to go now. Like this is
Yeah.
happening now.
Yeah. It's funny because there's a saying that we have, and it's we don't die or multiply in the back of the ambulance. That's like we try not to like, so we always tell the women like don't push, don't push. But then you saying that you're like when you have to, you just have to. But we always tell them, hey, don't push. If you feel the urge to push, don't do it till we get to the hospital.
I feel like it's hard because in the car, I mean, I felt like fine. Like I think we could have delivered Arkham in the side of the car, but we were in Fillmore trying to make it to Santa Clarita and all those stoplights. And in Fillmore, I was like, fuck, I have to push. And so I called the midwife and I was like, I need to push. And she was like, try not to, just breathe through it. You're gonna make it. And she like ran out to the parking lot with all her supplies.
Aw,
But we
that's
made it
awesome.
inside. But it is hard to like not, it feels better to just like push, you know? Because it
Yeah.
is
Oh, I
like
bet.
you're like gonna have a poop accident and you need to push
Yeah,
it out.
I can only imagine trying to not to, especially when you're already, yeah, I don't know. That's wild.
Well,
What's up, dude?
do you want to add anything else?
Mama,
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out
Um,
what's making the molten the
I
dye.
guess too, just especially like having a like just an emergency bag.
No, there was nothing.
In
Um,
general,
just yeah, having an emergency bag in general. It's so nice to just um
like
have
with
like
your
a little
documents in it.
yeah, yeah, I guess having your documents in there. I think our department even has something on the website that talks and shows like what you should have, what you need, or just having a checklist. Like, okay, so you can leave your documents where they're at,
Dog.
but yeah, exactly. Yeah, because you never know when you have emergencies like that. You're already like you're kind of already freaking out. You're not thinking correctly. So having a even just a checklist, okay, I need to go get this, I need to get that, let me grab the bag. Just I think having that ready to go, I guess. If you're hungover, that's not a 911 call. We get
Get
I
a
don't
lot
know.
of calls that are like, okay, well, this was
Yeah, we a lot of times we're like, do I just want to educate people like what a 911 call is? But then again, in California, like they get a lot of free healthcare, so they don't care. They're not paying for it, so they don't care. They'll call because they want their blood sugar checked or they ran out of their little like Lancets, and I guess those are expensive and um so they just get a lot of that crap. But um no, and if you're thinking about applying, now is the time because they're hiring like crazy. It used to be very competitive. But right now I think a lot of departments, at least in California, there's a lot of departments, even like Jake's department, Cal Fire is always hiring. Um, so yeah, if you're thinking about applying, now is the time. So
well, there you go, dollies.
yeah,
I don't know if there's a lot of men that listen to this, but hey,
but
women
hey,
can do it too.
oh, absolutely, dude. Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you for having me, dude.
Thank
I'm
you.
always listening, so
Oh, well, thank you. I'm glad. Hopefully you'll like this episode.